Good evening, welcome to the Town Council public hearing, April the 24th, 2014. Roll call, please.
Bennett present.
Natali here.
Sullivan present.
Bannon present.
Wendell here.
We've established a quorum. This evening's public hearing comments, proposed modifications to the Cape Charles Town Code, Chapter 66, Article 4, Transient Occupancy Tax, Section 66-55 through 66-76. Public comments, please, at this time.
Donna Kohler.
Hello, my name is Donna Olney Kohler, and I live at 711 Tazewell Avenue, which is also operated as Big Street Inn. I do support a transient occupancy increase of 0.7%, and to clarify for anyone who may be spinning the numbers, a 0.7% increase is equal to an additional $1.09 per night for any of my guests. I do have concerns about how and who will manage and allocate these funds. I have attended a few town meetings where this has been discussed, as well as had conversations with some council members on this topic. My first concern is eliminating the town's financial commitment to ESVA tourism. I have heard numbers ranging from $0 to $17,500 as our annual contribution. I urge council to continue financial support of ESVA tourism and to consider a minimum annual contribution of no less than $15,000. Those funds pay for the Welcome Center at the Bridge, which alone is worth that amount, in my opinion. They have an outstanding staff who our B&B guests continually comment are professional, helpful, and can't speak more highly of Cape Charles. We could never duplicate that in our town for $15,000. Some have suggested that the TOT money needs to stay local. You may not be aware that the BTC has awarded over $30,000 in grants to Cape Charles organizations from November 2011 to December 2013. Those funds would not have come to Cape Charles without the required written endorsement from ESVA Tourism. These grants have funded Tall Ships, Birding Festival, Harbor for the Arts, and Cape Charles by the Bay, and would not have been possible without ESVA Tourism. I understand you may be asked to establish a tourism board or commission to recommend to council how the TOP money will be spent. I have serious concerns about how this idea came to you in the first place. Individuals who have pitched this idea to council through the town have already suggested names as to who should serve. I know this is not how the process would work, but I urge you to learn more about how we have gotten to the point of considering formation of a Cape Charles Tourism Commission before you make that decision. The town is looking at collections of approximately $75,000 for TOT for fiscal year 2015. I suggest that those funds can be managed and allocated by council for one more year, just as you have always done, while you take the time to evaluate whether or not it is necessary to form another commission.
30 seconds, Donna.
There is already a process for any group to request funds, and I do not personally see any reason why we cannot continue to do so for at least one more year. I do not believe there is a sense of urgency or necessity in forming a commission at this time. As the TOT fund grows from increased tourism, and not just from a percentage increase, the town should consider a different process. Regardless of what you choose to do, I ask that you develop very specific guidelines for what is a tourism-related initiative. I have been in meetings where counselors...
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There are more chairs in the rear as they come in, if you would tell them. Thank you. Anyone else?
Donna's the only one that signed in, but I
Would you like, by all means?
No.
Absolutely.
You need to
Pertaining
sign.
to this, correct?
This is the hearings on the TRT.
Correct.
Sorry, I'm late. Can I talk?
And introduce yourself.
Carol Evans, Cape Charles House Bed and Breakfast. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Town Council, and our Town Manager. As one of the Northampton County appointed tourism commissioners and past chairman of the Tourism Commission, I come before you to thank you for your planning several years ago to designate 1% of the town's 3% collected transient occupancy tax to the Eastern Shore of Tourism Commission. This is a pass-through tax that only will stay, for those who only stay in our B&Bs and hotel. This is not a tax that is on any of our town citizens. Thank you for your faith and support over the years for the Eastern Shore Tourism Commission that contributed to the design, building, funding, and maintaining of the Eastern Shore Tourism Welcome Center. In just these 4 short years, we will welcome our 1,000,000th visitor next month. And it also coincides with Tourism Week in our state, May 5 through 9. As a reminder, the Eastern Shore Virginia Tourism Commission, at no cost to the business owners, manages the ESVA Tourism website with comprehensive tourism-related listings and events for the visitors to the area. It produces an annual visitor's guide, which you probably all are familiar with. It markets the region through earned and paid media. It provides an additional paid exposure at the Welcome Center with light boxes and rec cart display and online presence. We deal with experiential travel, and we now have the addition of developing the Eastern Shore Artisans Trail. We planned and implemented the first annual free tourism summit earlier this month by coordinated tourism task force that our own George Broden, president of the Cape Charles Business Association, represented the Lower Shore. Just a word about the summit. The summit was attended by 200 people from the tip to the top. A whopping 25 business owners from Cape Charles, including 4 of our council members, Councilman Bannon, Godwin, Wendell, and Natali. We thank you for your attendance and support. And our own Granville Hogg of Northampton County. What an outstanding representation. Attendees took away a new tourism energy and partnership enthusiasm with some no-cost how-tos that could be applied immediately to better market their tourism business. We were reminded to celebrate the identities of each of our towns. The media loves to visit and write about how each is unique and belong to this remarkable and dynamic region. A fall follow-up to this meeting is already being planned to help these tourism partners. Thank you.
There are more chairs, they're folded, they're in the back if you care. Dave Father, there's a chair up there for you, wherever you went. Anybody else? Anybody else that didn't have a chance to sign up? Good. Bruce?
Good evening. My name is Bruce Evans. I live at 645 Tazewell, owner and operator of Cape Charles House Bed and Breakfast. First of all, I'd like to remind the town council that the occupancy tax that you are going to increase, we totally support at Cape Charles House Bed and Breakfast. However, the lodging facilities in town are not the only ones that benefit from the increased number of tourism that come into town. I think if you were to increase, and my numbers might be wrong, but if you were to increase the 0.7%, which is fine, you're going to pick up somewhere around $15,000 to $17,000. If you were to increase the meals tax for the same amount, you're going to increase somewhere around $4,000 to $4,000. And that is certainly money that the town could use to perpetuate tourism and tourism activities. I strongly would support that. I know that there are many other businesses that also receive business from the amount of footsteps that come into town. The other thing I would like to mention to you is to caution you at this point in making a decision on a tourism commission for Cape Charles. I would suggest, as the county did several years ago, they put together a strategic plan for tourism that involved aquatourism, agritourism, and tourism in general on people that visit the shore. I would suggest before you put a committee together and figure out the kind of people that need to be on there, that you consider having someone help the town put together a strategic plan as to what council would like this board to accomplish. I think it should not be called tourism. It might need to be called economic development, because you need to look at all aspects of the pie as to what the town needs. Economic development, tourism, industrial development where we can afford it, bringing things to the town that are not thought of at this time. There are many other things that you can involve, events and so on and so forth. We now have a tourism specialist that replaced Lynn Locken living here in town. I talked to her, and I know for a fact that she would come to the town and help them put together a strategic plan.
30 seconds, Bruce.
Put together a strategic plan for what the town would like to see. I think the biggest thing she would push for initially is a driver for this organization, someone that would lead it. Without someone to lead it, the plan could not be effective. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? State your name for the record, please.
I'm Dory Southern, and I live at 104 Monroe Avenue. And as you know, I'm a journalist, and I'm not speaking as a journalist. We have a vacation rental property, and so we pay the transient occupancy tax. And I think you all need to be aware that for the vacation rental properties, they've already been rented. The people have already paid for them for this summer. So if you raise the taxes right now, it will come out of our pockets to pay that amount, every single one of us. You also need to be aware that a lot of vacation rental properties do not pay the tax. And it would be more thoughtful of you to make sure that the ones that are not paying pay the tax than to raise it on those of us and make us pay out of pocket for this season. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Now, motion please to adjourn.
I have one that was submitted in writing.
Okay.
Okay. And this is from Lemoyne Creek from Blue Heron Realty.
Microphone, please. Do not call out, we will take care of the sound. Thank you. Go ahead.
From Lemoyne Creek from Blue Heron Realty. It says first,
And turn it on.
it's on. First, I really think that the proposed tax increase in all likelihood would be counterproductive, resulting in the loss of some rentals. It is our experience that renters who vacation here do so because they can rent here for a little less than in other areas. Accordingly, landlords find that they are restrained in the amount they can charge, even though they have high operating costs and lots of wear and tear on their homes. While vacation rentals have come into their own in Cape Charles, it is our opinion that this business is still somewhat fragile. We think the proposed tax increase will be a negative factor in the stabilization of these rentals, which everyone seems to agree are important to Cape Charles and Cape Charles businesses. Second, if council is determined to impose this tax increase, excuse me, I recommend that it not commence until January 1, 2015. We and others have booked many Cape Charles vacation rentals at the 3% rate and have many leases out at this rate. A tax increase before this date will impose the new portion of the tax on the landlords because it is too late to charge tenants who have already booked. Most rental reservations are made in the first 3 to 4 months of the year. In addition, a tax increase will be expensive and time-consuming for us because we will have to redo our multiple website quotes, leases, computer programs, and bookkeeping. Providing time to prepare for this increase next year seems reasonable to us. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Anyone else? At this time, I need a motion to adjourn the public comment.
So moved. Second.
Hear no objections, so moved by unanimous consent.